big loser. I can never get in. Very, very, very important not to think negative things about yourself, and also not to, even if everybody tells you, God forbid, negative things. Everybody, let's say everybody tells you that you're stupid and you're ugly and this. I mean, can you imagine how bad a person feels? There's all these terrible stories in America about kids that are bullying and things like this. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do if everybody says bad things about you? And this is, you're supposed to feel bad. It's a bad feeling. Nobody likes you. But you have to say, listen, maybe nobody likes me, but God likes me. Because he's creating me. God is creating me. So everybody doesn't have to. I would like it if everybody likes me. That would be very nice. But even if nobody likes me, God likes me. And you should know that even if it is nobody likes you, you're in good company. Because there's two very, very famous people that nobody liked them. One of them is King David. The whole entire Israel was against him. He had a few people. Before that was Moses. We're going to learn next week, Korach. The whole Jewish people went against Moshe. And sometimes everybody doesn't like you because they're wrong. And they're jealous and who knows what. People just have bad. So that's what it says. If everybody doesn't like you, of course, that's not a good thing. Who wants a thing like that? King David wanted everybody to hate him. Moses wanted everyone to hate him. But the worst thing is don't hate yourself. Don't look at yourself like you're a Russian. Oh, I'm a loser. I'm a business. And even if up to now you have been a loser. So you'll change. You'll make it better. And who knows if you really were. Sometimes things that people do that they think is the worst is not acceptable. It just happens to be that it's different. And then everybody catches on. Okay. So that's what it means. Don't be a Russia in front of yourself. Don't look at yourself like a Russia. Which in the Tanya, he brings a big contradiction. Because it says, right, in the Gemara in Nida, it says, Tiye tzaddik v'al tiye rasha. And even if everyone tells you you're a tzaddik, you should look at yourself like you're a rasha. How can that be? Here's the opposite. Everyone's telling me I'm a tzaddik. For sure I'm going to think I'm a tzaddik. That's how the Tanya goes, right? Look, that's the Tanya. Everyone tells me I'm a tzaddik. I'm supposed to look at myself like I'm a rasha. It says that you're never supposed to look at yourself like, what's going on? And then the whole Tanya explains. Every Jew has two souls, and that really you're sort of two people inside of yourself, and that one side can always do selfish things, and the other one wants to do things for Hashem. Okay. Let's go. Now we are going to the last, Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch. Remember, he was the pupil of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai that he said he's the greatest of all of them. Abba Shaul said that he heard from Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai say that if all of the pupils were in one side of the scales and Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch was on the other side, he would weigh them all down. Let's see what he has to say. Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch, this must be pretty good advice, right? He's supposed to be the best. All the advice was really good. Havei shakud lilmod Torah. You should be constant to learn the Torah. Learn the Torah constantly. Right? Don't let things interrupt you. Torah is very important. Let's see what he has to say. We'll go over this. V'da ma l'tashiv la'apikoros. You have to know what to reply to a person that's against the Torah. What's apikoros? Generally, apikoros is a person that he does whatever he wants. Apikoros means he's hefker. Right? Apikoros is a person that says, who says there's Hashem? Who says I should do with the Torah? I have my own urges. I have my own life to live. I do what I want. Someone's going to tell me not to eat this. Someone's going to tell me not to do this. That's an apikoros, a person he's hefker. He's without any boss. I'm the boss. I'm the king of the universe. Well, a person that feels that way, he can get along pretty good in the world. He can get along pretty good in the world. In fact, usually the enemies of the Jewish people, and they became very successful, that's what they were. The Jews believed in God, and these people believed in themselves, And they succeeded. We say Haman, Achashverosh, all these people. Right? They became rulers of the whole world, Paro. Okay, so nowadays there comes people that'll come up to you, Apikoros, and they'll say to you, you know, what are you doing all these commandments for? What do you have to do all these things? You're limiting yourself. Come on, be free. Do what you want. You can't light a match on Saturday. What type of a thing is that? You can't eat this together with this. Can't eat this food. A nice crab. Want to eat a good lobster or something like that. Eat this. Have no idea how much pleasure it is. So you have to know what to say to people like this, because they've got a good point. What's the point? Really, what's wrong with lighting a match on Shabbat? What's wrong with eating a big lobster? You ever see these goyim eat lobsters? They put a big bib on. A bib, it's so juicy. It's just so tasty. No? What's wrong with having a good taste? So you have to know what to reply to a person like this. Let's see. We'll see. You have to know who you're working in front of. Right? You're doing the commandments for who? For yourself? You're doing it for God. And you should know that the boss, Hashem, he is faithful. You can trust him. That God will repay you for any good thing that you do. You do something good, you'll get repaid for it. The fact of the matter is if you're doing something good, the best pay you could possibly have is to know you're doing something good. That's the best pay of all. But in addition to this, God will give you a pay. Let's see what the Kahati says. Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch. Okay, we have it over here. Yes. Yeah, here we go. Very good. On the top. Rabbi Elazar, in fact, I'll read from over here. Let's go. Let's read from the text. We will read from the text. There we go. Good? Yes. Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch, Dorish. One second, let me make it here. There we go. Good. Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch, Dorish Shkida, he demanded an extra measure of being constant to learn Torah. Hatmara Rabbah when you're learning the Torah. Right? A lot of times you learn Torah, you get tired, you get hungry. All of a sudden you decide you want to go, you want to do, you want to go live, the phone rings. If a person really wants to succeed, as he has to, at least in the time when he's learning, even if he's learning for 15 minutes, it has to be constant. Kadei, in order that you can get a deep knowledge, umakifa, and a wide knowledge, mikol inyaneha, from all of the subjects of the Torah. Ushtei matarot mitzayin Rabbi Elazar lilmod. He gives two goals why you should learn Torah. Number one, sheyada lohochiach amitit shel Torah. You will know to prove to yourself the truth of the Torah. It's the wisdom of God. God is creating us. Ulahagen aleha, and to defend the Torah, bifnei deot kozvot, in front of false opinions. Number two, shiavo liyadei hakarat haboreh, so that you will come to recognize the Creator. Mitziuto, achduto, God's existence, God's oneness, geduloto, God's greatness, v'tevunoto, and God's amazing understanding, the wisdom of God, chasdav v'niflotov, God's kindness and God's wonders, kadei lechazek et emunato, in order to strengthen our faith in Hashem, v'yabdu miyira, so that we should serve God with fear and with love. So let's see what he said. Rabbi Elazar said, "Havishkud lilmod Torah." You should be very constant in learning Torah. Osek b'Torah mitoch shkida. You should learn Torah in a way which is constant. She'en Torah niknis ela al yadei sheyagia b'hatmana. You can't learn the Torah by taking it casually. Learning the Torah is supposed to be with tremendous effort, and it's supposed to be constant, bilimuda, to learn it constantly and to learn it with an effort, to put an effort into it. You have to know what to reply to people who are against the Torah. Hamek lahavin, you should deepen your mind to understand et divrei Torah, the words of Torah, for rechush lecha bahem, and so that you can obtain through the words of Torah, yediyah yesodit, a very foundational idea of havchana, berura, and clear, what's called discernment, that you can be able to understand things clearly, like cleaning your glasses, right? A person that has dirty glasses, he can't really see clearly. It's the same thing. If you want to see God, it's only through the Torah. So it should be, things in the Torah should be clear to you, kadesha teda, so that you know, restore, to contradict and to defend the Torah against tainoseim, those claims of the apikursim, of those people who oppose the Torah, ulachziv et rayonotam, and to prove that they are wrong. Right? There was, especially, there was in Germany and in Europe, in Russia, etc. There was one of the big wars that began with the Tzemach Tzedek but Chabad, Judaism in general, but especially Chabad. They were always fighting these battles. They were always involved in these terrible battles. They did not lock themselves away. They did not run away from opposition. And Chabad, one of the biggest oppositions was called the Enlightenment movement, the Maskilim. The Maskilim were Jews. A lot of them were called Talmidei Chachamim. A lot of them really knew the Talmud, and they really knew the writings and the laws. They knew the Torah very well. They were very, very intelligent people. But the spirit of the time, especially in Germany and France, in Austria, and eventually it crept into Russia. They brought it into Russia, was that a person has to be his own boss. That the Torah and the commandments, that just keeps you back. It doesn't allow you to be your real, true self, to be yourself. That's what's called an apikoros. He'll explain. An apikoros is a person that should kofir, that he denies the existence of God and the oneness of God. What does it mean, the oneness of God? Some people say, okay, God exists, but he's way up in heaven for the old people or something like that. After you die, you'll go and you'll see him. Achdus of God means that God is everywhere, and that God is everything, and he's creating everything. That's the God's one. There's nothing except for God. That's the message of the Jewish people. Hashem is one. But our eyes don't see that. And there were a lot of Jews that really worked very hard to make other Jews not believe in this. Became a kofar b'Torah. There's people that they deny what's called the oral Torah. They deny the law. The osa averos lahachis. Then there's Jews that they do sins purposely, but farhesia publicly, al derech kafira. Purposely they go against the Torah. Purposely they don't keep Shabbos. A Rambam refers to apikoros is lashon hefker, like I told you. It means a person that's free. Shemafkir mevazeh at the Torah, that he frees, throws away the Torah. The Torah is worth nothing to him. The Yesh Mavarim, some people say that apikoros, this refers to a particular philosopher, a Greek philosopher, who was called Apikor. He was about 400 years before the destruction of the Second Temple. And it was right in the beginning of the Second Temple. Shehefitz rayonot kfira, that he spread out ideas of kfira, that was like right around the time when in the miracle of Purim, he spread out ideas of kafira, apikoros kafira, of denying God, v'hora et abriot, and he told people shetachlit hachayim, the whole purpose of the life is to go after pleasures. In English they call it, what is it? Not Epicureans? No, there's a word for it. Epicurus. I guess maybe this is one. Epicurus. Epicurious. I guess so. There's another word for it. There's another word for these people. I think that's what it is. Epicureans. That the whole thing is just to have pleasure in life. You should know that basically that's what Spinoza said also. That's what also Spinoza. Spinoza was a very, how do you say, evil person. Evil person, but he was a philosopher. He was a philosopher. And his thing was also that the essence of life is to have pleasure, but you can't really have pleasure if you run around after low pleasures, physical pleasures, eating and stuff like that. There's higher pleasures, philosophical pleasures and other pleasures, but the main thing is life is for you. It's for your pleasures. Vikinu b'shem zeh, and they called this thing of Epicureanism to anyone who denied the Torah. So there's different opinions what this word apikoros means, but in general it means one who is against the Torah. So you have to know what to reply to these people. I'll just say that there were two very famous people that they were very great in this, and one was Shimshon Raphael Hirsch, and another one was the Malbim. Was it Lebush Malbim? Malbim. The Malbim, I think he was like in Hungary, I think, and the Shimshon Raphael Hirsch, he was right in the middle of it in Germany. And in Germany, that was like the big source of the apikoros. That was where Reform Judaism started. And these people that really, really went against the Torah, and they developed their own ideas about what God is and the philosophy. And Shimshon Raphael Hirsch, he just stood like a lion, and he was very hated by all these people. And said, but he was great. If you read some of his books, he's very, very, very clear, very positive in a lot of ways, considering who his enemies were. And he knew what to reply to the apikoros. The problem is, though, is that a person who gets pleasure from doing something that's against the Torah, so he'll find all sorts of reasons to justify this thing. And even if he doesn't find any reason, it doesn't really convince him, because he's not really looking to be convinced. He's just looking to make excuses. But nevertheless, don't let a person like that convince others to also do like he's doing, to leave the Torah. Okay, you should know who, before whom are you working. A little scroll down. Amol b'Torah v'hit amek benigla. You should work in the Torah, and you should make an effort. Let me read from over here. Amol b'Torah v'hit amek benigla v'nishta shabbat. You should, very good. Thank you for scrolling down. You should work hard in the Torah, and you should deepen your mind in the revealed part and the concealed part that's in it. In other words, don't forget that this idea of believing in God is not just something that's relegated totally to faith. And of course, in the end, it's faith. Nobody can know what God is. But also there's what's called the hidden parts of God. There's Kabbalah, there's Chassidut, that talk about all these aspects of God, which we don't see in front of our eyes. That lets you know that the Torah is really a big mystery, and it's a big secret. You know, this Shabbos I was davening somewhere, and I heard one kid, there was two brothers or something like that. One was running around, and the other was trying to control him a little bit. So finally, the older one said to the younger one, "Hey, come here, I want to tell you a secret." And the young one said, "Oh yeah, a secret? Come here, I'll tell you a secret." Came over, took him to the side. I don't know what he told him, but the idea, a secret, that's everybody wants to know a secret, something you don't see. Well, the Torah is really one big secret. The Torah has a big secret to tell us. And it's telling us about Hashem, the Creator. It's a big secret. So, and that's what these secrets of the Torah, they're found in the Agada of the Torah, but also in the books of Kabbalah and the Torah, and especially in Chassidut. So that's what he says. You should deepen your mind in the revealed part and the hidden part of the Torah. In order that you can begin to recognize your Creator. And you should know, lifnei me, before whom ata omel, you are working, and your heart should become stronger in the faith of God, so that you can serve God with a complete heart. In other words, you'll never say, wow, maybe this is wrong, maybe this, your heart will be complete if you know a little bit, at least, about the mysteries of the Torah. It's a very interesting thing. In Chabad, there's a book which is called Kuntras Eitz Chaim. It's written by the Rebbe Rashab. There were a whole series of pamphlets that the Rebbe Rashab wrote for the pupils of Tomchei Tmimim, because he founded Tomchei Tmimim. In this book, Kuntras Eitz Chaim, he brings from the Sefer Hakdamos of the Arizal. And the Arizal comes out very, very sharp language. I mean, usually the Arizal is very, just talking about the upper worlds and talking about the greatness of the Jewish people and so on. And sometimes he talks about how evil, the side of evil is. But here he talks about Jews, especially rabbis, that do not know the secrets of the Torah. They do not learn the secrets of the Torah. A rabbi, he says, that does not occupy himself, at least a little bit, with the secrets of the Torah, he said, this rabbi, any rabbi that doesn't have any hand, and it's interesting that almost all the people, how many people were there? Those that spoke against the Rebbe, they had no hand whatsoever in, I mean, there's basically only one person, you know. Satmar had a bit of an argument with Chabad, but that was on an issue. It wasn't, never said anything about the Rebbe. The people that open their mouth, they have no connection to the secrets of the Torah whatsoever. Interesting. Anyway, the Arizal says that a person that does not learn the secrets of the Torah, that he is from the generation of the dispersion, the Dor HaFlaga. Those that want to build a big tower. They're just trying to make a name for themselves, and they destroy Judaism, they make arguments. So therefore, it's very important to know the secrets in the inside of the Torah. You should know who God is so that you can serve him with a complete heart. And your boss, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is faithful, that he commanded you to do this work, to learn Torah all the time, to do the commandments, that he will give you a proper reward. In another way, some people say, you should know, that you should remove this. It says you should know who you're working in front of and who is the boss. And take off this thing about that he will pay. These 4 words take off, that he'll pay you your reward. The Rambam says like this. You should know you should know what to reply to one who opposes the Torah. In addition to learning Torah, the Rambam says that in addition to learn Torah, you should also know something about the world. You should know what to reply to an apikoros. In other words, what happens? A person can come along and they can say, what are you talking about? That the sun goes around the earth. The earth goes around the sun. All the scientists say. So what are you going to say? Well, it looks like the Torah is wrong. I mean, the Rambam says clearly that the sun goes around the earth. So it looks like the Rambam, he was lived a long time ago. He doesn't really know. So you have to know a little bit about astronomy, right? And if you don't, then ask. The Rebbe has a beautiful sikh about that. Since there was the Heisenberg principle, the uncertainty principle, and also Einstein, that everything is relative to everything else, and so we can't really tell what's going around which, and etc. And the rabbis of the Talmud made the calculations that the sun is going around the earth, and they were very accurate calculations. So you can do it either way. In other words, you have to have a little bit of an idea of what to reply to people that say things that are against the Torah. Things that are against the Torah. And in time, you can, and if you don't know what to say, you can say to a person, listen, I'll get the answer to that. I'll come back to you, right? What you're saying is a good question. I never thought of it. I'm sure that you're wrong 100%, but I'll tell you what the answer is later. And there's a lot of things like that. I mean, you know how many religions there are, and how many, especially the religions that are based on the Torah, that say they are the replacements of the Torah, right? So of course it's a stupid claim, but on the other hand, they're very popular. You got 2 billion Christians, and you have 1.5 billion Muslims, and they all believe that Judaism is finished. And then you have all the non-religious Jews that they say it's old time, old-fashioned, not relevant, right? So these people, you have to have at least something to say to them to convince them that either that they're wrong, or at least convince yourself that they're wrong. Except for learning Torah, in addition, you also should learn. You should know who you're working for. Even though that you learn what the non-Jews think, to return, to reply to them. It should not come in your mind. Just because you learn. This is what the Rambam says. The Rebbe sort of discourages this. I'll tell you 1 second. Listen, So what does the Rambam say? The Rambam says you should learn a little bit about the ideas that oppose Judaism in order that you can reply to them. The Rebbe, for instance, learned in university. He learned in university so he would have a clear idea of what the world thinks is the job of the Rebbe. The Rebbe is Melech HaMashiach. The job of the Rebbe, of the Mashiach, is that all of the non-Jews are going to drop all of their false religions. So here, this is what the Rambam is saying, that we have to have at least a little bit of an idea what these things are. But we don't take this, we don't do what the Rambam says. You should sha'ata oved. But even though you learn all these other ideas about the other religions and other philosophies and other the methods and ideas, you should learn in order to know what's wrong with them. But don't let it seep into your mind. You should know, you should know that Hashem knows what's in the depth of your heart. You should intend your heart to serving Hashem. Yisborech. That's where your mind should be. Okay, I'll tell you a little story. I don't know, this is the two stories you'll get in this day. There was a